What's up, everybody? Welcome to day 3 of the DreamHack Lawler's Lan simulation. We don't have an official name for it, but basically we are simulating the top 32 teams in the world because we all miss LAN desperately. We are on day 3 finally. We've been waiting for day 3 for oh so long. If you guys haven't checked out the previous videos, make sure you guys go check those out, probably in the description or in the related somewhere. But we are down to our top 20 something. I don't know math. How many teams we start? 32. We got rid of the bottom 2. 32. We're down to our last few teams. My brain's mush. I blame getting the vaccination. We're vaccinated. Smile. Let's take a look at actually who's left and what's been going on. We're going to start with the group stage to show you guys kind of the results, what happened. We took all teams. We have 4 groups of 4. 24 left is correct. 2 times 4 is 8. 32 minus 8 is 24. 24 teams. Either way, these are the teams. Group A, these are the teams that survived. Noble and Cringe have been eliminated. In Group B, Pittsburgh Knights and Charlotte Phoenix have been eliminated. In Group C, BS Plus Competition, Rick's GG eliminated. Group D, surprising turn of events. Renegades, poor CJ, and Solary eliminated as well. The big surprise is actually Tokyo Verde Esports, where RNG is unbelievably in their favor. So many times they didn't win by the 70% vote margin, but they went perfect in the RNG 1 to 100 generator. If you don't know what I mean by that, the way that it works and the way this is going to work, and if you guys would like to join us, twitch.tv/Lawler. Stream every day but Tuesday, and your guys' chats are determining what is happening. The way that it works is I'm going to say who wins in a poll. I'm going to say Guild Esports because that's the first match, and versus them will be Team BDS. I hit start poll, and on the screen it pops up, and it shows you a poll. And then the people in chat type 1 or 2 based upon who they think will win. But there's a catch. If Team BDS does not have a vote count of 70% or higher, which is convincing, and it is 69%, nice, and below, then we go to a random number generator, and we take a vote. From there, and RNG takes the wheel, and if they don't win by their percentage margin, which I'll explain the first time it happens, then that team either wins or loses, and we go from there. If it is perfectly 50-50, so if it's 100 votes to 100 votes, then we go to a heads or tails vote, which is crazy when that happens because that is pure RNG. So we crushed through these pretty quick if you'd like to join us, but this is officially day 3, and you guys and gals have Team BDS moving on, which I agree. They move on. Guild drops to the lower bracket. For day 3, we are going to be doing all of the upper bracket up until the winner final. The winner final, the loser final, and the grand final will be simulated by bots. We will have bots play in a series, and we will watch the results, and it will be fantastic. So stay tuned for that. So back to the bracket. We're going to crush through these. Rogue versus the Sonics. Does Sonics have better LAN performance? These are things we have to think about. I do think if Rogue has made it to this stage, they're probably fine. I feel like the nerves have finally settled. It's a new day, hopefully no longer tilted, because that's how it ended in day 2. Day 2 of Rogue was tilt central, but you guys are feeling like Rogue is about to try to make that championship run. Good pick. Next up, I couldn't make this up. The battle of throws. The battle of who can throw harder. V1 versus Team Liquid. We know it's going to game 7. It's gotta. I'm curious on how you guys vote for this one. This would be probably the most entertaining series of the entire event, if I'm being honest. I hope this one ends up 50-50. Those are a bunch of legends. Let's go, chat. As I mentioned, if it gets perfectly 50-50, which it has, we then go to a heads or tails. Because V1 is the high seed, they are heads. They actually won. No way. V1 clutches in game 5 OT. It's a miracle. They did it. They win tiebreakers. That's how they do. They did it against Charlotte Phoenix to make it into the grid. They did it against Ghost to make it into the major. All right, next up, Top Looks versus XSET. I do think XSET has been trending in a really good direction. I think they stopped playing super passive and have become hyper aggressive, which has gone quite well. Top Looks on the other side. Archie, one of the best up-and-comers this season. Probably one of the rookies of the year, if I'm being completely honest. Haven't been as dominant as they have been in the past. So Top Looks right now is winning. So the way that this works is because they are not at 70% or higher, we then go to XSET, and if XSET gets 1 through 36, they win in the upset. If it is 37 to 100, then it is Top Looks. They get the bigger range because they have the bigger percentage. Here we go. 57. That was so uneventful in that RNG. Okay. Ground Zero and Dignitas. So you got the #1 seed from OCE going up against Dignitas. Revitalized. Some new mechanical monsters, Jorias, and apparently Jack. Obviously, you got Violent Panda locking it down as always. All right. Right now it is Dignitas favored, which I probably do take as well. We are going to go to 42%. So 42 and lower, because they didn't get the 43. We always give advantage to the high seed. So 42 and lower is for Ground Zero. Sorry, Dig. You're dropping to the lowers. Next up, another #1 seed in True Neutral going up against G2. You guys are a bunch of fanboys. You got Shopify Rebellion versus Vitality. Understand this is day 3 Vitality. 3 people who have never played on LAN on the big stage. Memory's been close way too many times. Versus Vitality. K-Dop, who hasn't missed a grand final in forever and a half. I mean, 69.2% is nice. But is that enough? I said 70. It is not. We go to the polls. Shopify Rebellion pops off at LAN. Beast Mode is feeling it. It's a 3-0 sweep. Shopify Rebellion living up to the hype. Memory has been waiting for his LAN moment for years. Next up, we got FaZe Clan going up against Furia. I think FaZe on LAN could be really annoying. Gyro pops off at LAN. AJ has shown that he can be god tier at LAN as well. And Illusion, I think, is just a solid player who's definitely underappreciated, I would say, but not appreciated enough here. So 49 and higher. 49 and higher here for FaZe. Oh, that's close. This RNG boy is causing some palpitations going on. Next up, we've got our winners who have the bye. We've got the General. We're calling them NR General going up against Team BDS. You've got your 1 seeds going. Our 1 seeds coming into the tournament are playing each other. That would be the craziest scenario to happen in round 2. To happen this early in the tournament would be absolute shenanigans. So, Energy being the favorites, I do agree with, but BDS putting up a fight, also agree with. So I'm happy with the vote here. Let's see if it pays off. We are looking at 45 or higher for Energy. They do. I do understand that. I would be surprised if Energy lost this. Next up, you've got what essentially people are discussing as the new playstyle, what will become the new meta in Team Queso against Rogue, NA's version of the same thing. Pressure, pressure, pressure all the time. Be disruptive, be annoying. You guys have Queso over Rogue. Interesting. 45.7 will give the advantage. So 46 and above. 46 and above for Queso. Poll says no. First killer does first killer things. Envy versus V1 on LAN. You guys had Envy dominating. Envy convincing win. Even on LAN, I think Envy's team is reliant primarily on Atomic. Depending on how Atomic plays would determine that series. Because I think V1's got some good LAN performers in both Torment and Gimmick. Calm is kind of a question mark. And I mean, they've got Turbo going to game 5 or 7, which is what V1 does every time. Like, they have Turbo. Next up, Endpoint and Top Lokes. Another fun one. Understand we are going with the current Endpoint roster before Virtuoso's departure. Keep that in mind, chat. Endpoint is at 33%. So 34 or higher is in favor of Top Lokes. Top Lokes wins. Next up, Aether versus Ground Zero. And if Ground Zero's beaten Dignitas, I'm curious on how you guys pick this. Aether isn't a bad team by any means. They had some good results. You guys do have Ground Zero, but not convincing. We generate again. 43 is in favor. It does go to Ground Zero. Ground Zero with the clutch. That would be crazy for Tarsauce and the boys. Oh, what a series. SSG versus G2. Another baller. Man, we need a 32-team LAN. We need a 32-team international LAN so bad. All right, 60%. It's not 100. It's not 70. So we do generate. Is RNG in the favor of the fans with blind confidence? Without a doubt. Drees is the real deal. He's signed. Lock him in. Middle of the tournament. Middle of the tournament. Carlos calls him, is like, you've got the deal. You're locked in. They signed him to a 4-year contract extension. That's how confident they are. Conditions have to be met. They have to win the whole thing, though. Tokyo Verde the RNG Legends against Shopify Rebellion, who just came off a hot, spicy win against Vitality. Numerous times, it has been exactly like this in the voting polls, where teams have gotten close to getting the 70%, but haven't gotten the 70%, like right now. Shopify Rebellion has an advantage, but then Tokyo Verde still gets the RNG, and they've done it 5 times. Will it be 6? Yes. What the actual is going on? They actually do it again. No freaking way, dude. Tokyo does not die. I don't know how they do. That's 6 times they've done that. Tokyo all the way, I guess. If anything, I'm okay with every team throwing so that we can get this region into the RLCS. That's the real goal here, chat. That's the real goal. Next up, ooh, Sandrock, our wild card from the Middle East, going up against FaZe Clan. Sandrock with a convincing win. I mean, Sandrock, like, Ocala and those boys are cracked. Ocala, Amon, and them are so good. That'd be their first time on LAN too. So, again, I think LAN nerves and stuff are probably pretty calm by this time, but the pressure definitely goes up exceptionally when you're talking about extra life, everything else on the line. Like, this is when LAN gets serious. Let's move on into the winners quarterfinals. Again, we're going through winners quarterfinals, winners semifinals. We'll stop here. Enter General going up against Rogue. People are just fanboys. What if I provide some logic for you here, Chunky Rabbit? In my opinion, you've got a team that has people that easily tilt and very minimal LAN experience. 2 days of LAN experience at this point, if we're just doing this as the first international competition to come back. Versus one player who's been to every single world championship. Another player who is a world championship winner and convincingly ended top 3 multiple times in his career and has popped off at like every LAN he's played. Most particularly known for the ceiling shot in Season 4. And then you've got Justin, known as one of the most clutch players on LAN, who hit the goal. Yeah, Energy wins that without a doubt. How would they ever lose that against Rogue? Unless Rogues just build different, you know? It could be that the new meta on LAN, they play with confidence. They don't play down on LAN. Maybe they just keep popping and don't make the mechanical mistakes that literally everybody's ever always made at LAN. I just don't see it. I think Energy is built to win these matches. I think their skill ceiling is a little bit lower because of it, but they are consistency. And at LAN, that's a big deal. If you guys go back and watch the Season 8 World Championship Grand Finals, Vitality versus Energy, gameplay's kind of doo-doo. It's actually not that good. In the grand scheme of things, gameplay's not that great. If I'm being honest, gameplay's kind of eh. But it's about making less mistakes, playing cleanly. You don't need to go for the big, clashy, crazy stuff. They won off of a counterattack. Fairy Peak's dribbling and ducking and diving between 3 teams, right? Banger downfield, Justin's raiding, just open net. LAN isn't always about being the cracked, super crazy. It's why, you know, Europe, even though Europe doesn't have the crazy mechanics that NA puts emphasis on, when it comes down to it, nobody puts those mechanics on at LAN. Very minimally. It's too much pressure. It's too much going on. You're not in your setup that's comfortable. The first team that can do that, which has been South America in scrims, that's why everybody gives them the respect they do. A little bit of insight for you guys, chat. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Next up, Envy versus Top Blokes. I know my pick on this one. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Yeah, Envy wins that every day of the week. If Atomic's not causing problems they've gotten to this point, I don't see them losing to Top Blokes. I really don't. Also, I really want this matchup. Also, this side of the bracket, I am jealous of everybody if I'm on this side. Ground Zero versus G2. Apparently, Drees is popping. Ground Zero's popping. All right, G2 is taking the victory. If Drees is not the issue and G2 is playing the way they would want, I have complications with high pressure situations with Torsos. Torsos has thrown numerous times in high pressure situations at LAM consistently and has basically become non-existent. Pressure gets to him, he tilts, things get poor, and his communication does not become healthy. We'll see if RNG disagrees. It does not. G2 moves on with Drees. It's the real deal. 4-year contract still alive. Next up, the most hype match of the entire tournament. I don't care what anybody says. This is the most hype match of the entire tournament. You've got the 2 wild cards making it to the quarterfinals to move into the semifinals of the winners bracket. Tokyo Verde, Sandrock Gaming. Who wins? Sandrock does have a little bit of favor, which I would agree with. I respect the diamond hands, chat, but Sandrock I would give a little bit of an edge to. But is the 6-time RNG champ Tokyo Verde Esports gonna take a whammy? 1-48 for Tokyo Verde. Can they do it? No, can't stand. They're not tall enough. Not tall. They finally drop when it matters most. It is Sandrock in a convincing win. It goes to OT right off the kickoff. Done. Tokyo Verde, luck ran out. Luck ran out. And of course, O'Khaled and the boys are in general maybe a bit of an unfair advantage against Envy. Round 4, Winners semifinals. Turbo 2 goated. Does he do it again with this new Envy squad? I do agree that Envy on land could be absolutely detrimental to every other team. I think they could be so dominant. Let's find out what RNG thinks. It's got to be 41 or higher. That's a 4-1 if I've ever seen one. Last match of day 3 of Lawler's DreamHack Dream, the land simulation we've all been waiting for. It is G2 Esports. Man's trying to get a 4-year contract. Drees going up against Sandrock Gaming, the Middle Eastern wildcard bid. It needs to be a 39 or higher for Sandrock. He's the real deal. He's the real deal. He is the MVP of the tournament. Energy and G2 in the winner semifinal. I lied. The winner final. Energy and G2 in the winner final to go on to the grand final. If that would actually happen, the amount of NA as good against chance in the stands would be mind-blowing. Let's take a look at the lower bracket for what will be day 4. FaZe Clan versus Guild. Shopify Rebellion versus Sonics. Space Station versus Liquid. Aether versus Xset. Endpoint versus Dignitas. V1 versus True Neutral. Team Queso versus Vitality. And Team BDS versus Furia. That is the first round of day 4 that will be going down next time. If you guys like what we're doing here with the DreamHack simulation, it's been an absolute blast. First and foremost, always appreciate it. Everybody in chat who come out to talk and hang out. You guys are over here. I had to think about that one for a sec. You guys have been able to make this happen. It's been an absolute blast. If you guys have missed day 1, 2, or 3, you can always find those out in the related channels and everything else as well. But day 4 will be coming up next. We've got to do the lower bracket. And then, like I mentioned, the winner final, the loser final, and the grand final will be simulated with bots. And I cannot wait for us to do that. So we've still got 2 more days of DreamHack simulation action. But for everybody watching, if you guys enjoy the content, leave a comment. Let me know if there's any things that you'd like me to change. Maybe we'll do this in the future for other tournaments. But other than that, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that fun stuff. And we'll see you next time. Peace.